Good afternoon, Dr. Ray. Welcome back to Ingredients for a Better Life. Good to see you, my friend. How's everything?
Great, Jay. Good to see you, my friend.
Good, good. Let me just jump right in. So I'm back with Dr. Robert Nettles, the Chief Medical Scientist, founder of the Stop and Regrow, revolutionary hair regrowth program, which regrows your own hair naturally based upon your biochemistry. So to kind of get into it a little bit, I've recently talked to some people doing consultations, and they say, "Hey, what are these zones exactly that Dr. Nettles is talking about?" So maybe if you could touch on the specific zones you've identified, how the hair miniaturizations for each zone plays into effect, and then how it regrows, and just take it from a medical side of the zones, and also how the viewers can check their own zones.
So first thing, thank you, Jay. So the zones came about just by pattern recognition. You see enough patterns, ask enough questions, and it becomes very obvious to us. In medical school, we learned the Norwood scale, which was something devised by a group of physicians 50 years ago, and it didn't hold up to actual rigorous examination inside the office when we were trying to compare hair growth over months and years on 6 continents. So we really had to study closely all of these hair patterns, and it makes logical sense what came out, which was the front three hairlines recede backwards. The one, two, three temple, the front hairline goes backwards. If you see your hairline going backwards and your forehead getting larger, you have hair loss. So go
Sure.
get your blood work. If you see the hair, the part down the middle starting to thin up, that's zone 4, and that's where you get diffuse thinning. If you see your hair part getting wider, get your blood work. Zone 5 is in the back. Someone from behind you or the security camera catches you with a big spot back there. That zone 5 starts as a little circle about the size of a dime and becomes a softball. And if you see a little bit of hair loss back there, get your blood work. All of those zones can all be treated on the program. They just reverse how they were caused. So zones 1, 2, 3 will grow back downward. Zone 4 will grow back in unison, and zone 5 will fill in from the outside of the circle concentrically into the middle of the circle. Just logically, that's how the hair was lost. That's how the hair will then regrow. And our pictures taken over the years and months show that pretty obviously. Hopefully, the viewers can get to the stopandregrow.com website, and you'll see a ton of those photos of the hair growth happening in those zones.
So let's to be clear, for me anyways, it seems like that zone 5 or that crown zone is, correct me if I'm wrong, the easier zone to grow back versus the 1 or 2 where the temples are, that the hairline is more difficult, right? I kind of explain the hair regrow. A lot of people don't understand that it's natural to lose hair. You lose about 100, 150 hairs per day, which is natural. So I think that what I need you to clear up is the difference between a hair, hair loss, hair falling out, and the miniaturization of the hair follicle and the DHT and the smothering and that kind of thing.
I didn't catch the first question. I forgot the
Like
first one.
I,
So,
I think a lot of people confuse your hair loss with miniaturization.
okay. So the zones are just where the hair loss, where we see it, and then we follow those zones and they regrow. Now we're talking about the hair falling, shedding versus miniaturization. That'd be a different segment, I think. That's too
Yeah,
much to go over today. But you were thinking of, patients are not understanding what hair, if they don't have the same hair they did 6 months or a year ago, they have hair loss. 87% of men, Jay. So let's start with anyone that contacts you. Let's start with, you do have it. There's no,
yeah,
you wouldn't have called us if you don't have
sure.
it. You
Yeah,
have it, and the cause of it is in your blood. And I
yeah.
think that's the most simple way to look at it. Hey, do I have it? You know you have it. You wouldn't have called us. So you got it. Your hair is not as good looking as mine or yours, for
Yep.
example. And their hair is not as nice as it was when they were 18, for example. If that's them that calls you, you get your blood work. And if they don't get their blood work, that's a stop right there. That
Yep.
person doesn't know how to move forward. And I wouldn't spend a lot of effort on them.
that leads me into a good segue. I created an antonym for hair loss, which is, we all know what an LED light bulb is, right? Now, what you've
Uh,
done for me, one of the two greatest, one of a lot of things, a lot of gifts you've given me, but one of the two greatest, first is location, the other is environment. Now, we can, off of what we talked about with these zones, we can use the zone as, yes, I do have this, and here is the location. We'll call it a zone or whatever. Next, we move into the environment. Now, we're talking about the environment within the biochemistry, within, the
uh-huh.
nutrition and those DNA factors. So the D part of the LEDs antonym comes in from drive. What are you going to do? What's your drive in
Uh-huh.
this? So when you have the location, the environment, and now the drive, you can solve a problem. So my next question, from that is, it's no it's no secret that you were a successful hair transplant surgeon, Beverly Hills, lots of celebrities, actors. You still do a lot of the hormone replacement therapy with the athletes. A lot of people aren't aware of, but why did you choose to leave that? I'm sure you took a nice pay cut to do it, and you also invested your own money for research that lasted 20 years that brought us to this modern science position of healing. So if you could kind of explain the personal decision behind that, what was your drive, and is it spiritual? Is it beyond monetarily? Obviously, but I wanted the viewers to have an opportunity to get inside Dr. Ray's head.
Uh-huh. Good question, Jay. So the first question you need to answer, who gives life?
The Lord.
Only one person gives you life, and that's who I gave my life back to. So I didn't come to serve myself, and the pieces of paper that came from dead trees that used to provide oxygen, we didn't come for that one either. We came to help the people, and God said you came to heal these people. 87% of men, and now 50, 60, 70% of women, the same genetic imbalance, the same genetic defects. So it's having a deeper conversation about their lives and why they're here and what their purpose is. My purpose is to make things better, and God's been driving the train the whole time. All I had to do was sit down, Jay, and open my eyes. And yeah, I became a facial cosmetic surgeon, first non-surgical nose job on the planet Earth. Landed on a famous TV show. Those things happened. That's not why. That was not my
Sure.
drive. My drive was to serve. And every morning you say, "Did I do enough?" And at the end of the day, you say, "I did my best."
Yeah,
Every day is a rinse and repeat.
that's it. There's doctors and there's good doctors. So thanks for being a good doctor.
We
Um,
do our best. Well, thank you for having the show and
yeah,
having me on here, Jay.
well, yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for your time, and we'll make sure to get to update this edit, get some visuals up, and hopefully we can continue the conversation. It's good to see you, good doctor, and look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Great to see you, Jay. Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.